Hello, good afternoon, teachers, and magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, and welcome to our stream for today, no? So this is actually a non-certified event, okay? So this is not part of our usual Thursday and Saturday events, no? This has been put on hold for quite some time. It's supposed to be last June, okay, for part, no, towards the end of our June series. Kaya lang nawalan tayo ng time and of course na schedule wise, okay, so that's why it's only this time na natuloy natin tong event itong sharing ito. So basically for this event, we will just be sharing on Google Slides, no complete walkthrough. We'll just be surfacing maybe in a way the basic fundamentals use of and functions and features of Google Slides. It's not as easy, it's not as a difficult tool, teachers. I know for a fact that I've been using Google Slides for quite some time already. So this is not something new to you, but we hope that we can, in a way, no, bring forth as well some other features and tools na baka maybe we're not able to make use of, and maybe sometimes you also not able to maximize the use of these different features and tools by Google Slides. Okay, and of course we're going to highlight as well the integration points of Google Slides. Okay, so teachers, again, good afternoon to all of you. So I'm Franco Nicolo P. Adun. I'll be your trainer for today. And okay, I'm glad to be joined, no. Syempre hindi naman to required, no. Pero I'm glad to be joined by one of our administrators, okay, Sir Jambi, which congratulate. Yeah. Okay, would like to congratulate Sir Jambi because Sir Jambi is now fully vaccinated, teachers. Na. So let's all teachers know, let's get vaccinated not only for ourselves but for our community. Sir Jambi, kumusta ang pakiramdam?
Ah,
Ah,
parang masakit yung ano ko, yung braso ko.
you are
Pero yung ano, walang no flu-like symptoms, ganyan.
no fever.
I
Unlike
think
the
yun naman
others. The
yung
others,
sabi nila sa Sinovac, eh.
oo. Nakita mo naman kung tinurok, ha? Baka hindi naman
Oo,
tinurok.
this time nung first time kasi tinignan ko, kaya lang nakaharang yung kamay nung nagturok. Pero ngayon kitang-kita ko talaga na tinurok. Ano pa nga, eh, 'di ba may vial? Tas I think in a vial parang six ba? Six or three yung naghahati sa isang vial. Eh, nakita ko na last yung sa'kin. Gusto ko sanang hingin kaya lang baka mapagalitan ako.
Yes, saka sanitation-wise, I don't think they'll give that, eh. They really dispose that right after vaccination. But anyway, Sir Jambi,
Correct.
congratulations. Again, teachers, for all of you as well, so that we can get closer to going back to the classroom. Let's all get vaccinated. That's going to help us, not only your family, yourself, okay, but as well as the community. So let's get to that 80%. Tawag ako, Sir Jambi, no? 80% herd immunity yung na kailangan nating maabot, okay, to be able to like
Wa
really call
wag ba
like
tayong mag-ano, gaya ng ano yan, gaya
herd.
ng mga estudyante natin, don't aim for passing score. I-ano
Oo.
natin, go for 100% tayo sana.
Oo, at siyempre mas maganda pa rin kung 100. Pero of course, will even if we're vaccinated, no, a reminder for our teachers to still follow the protocols, health protocols,
Yes.
etc. So, yan, Sir Jumpy, siguro we can jump into our session for today. And so that
Introduce
we
mo ba
will
yung speaker?
yes, we'll keep our session short for today. Anyway, this is not like our usual session. This is really a sharing, okay, of this tool so that our teachers can use this tool, Google Slides, no, much better and much more efficient in the classroom, especially in an online distance learning setup. Okay, so teachers, let me now go ahead and proceed, no, with our session for today. Okay,
Good luck.
go ahead. Thank you, Sir Jambi. Okay, so okay, teachers, let's our flow for today. No, this will be covering the basics and the advanced features of Google Slides, as well as integrating slides. No, that's also one of the most important aspect of Google Slides. No, while admittedly, teachers, of course, we have to admit, no, and we'll have to put it into to perspective that in terms like sophistication and tools, Google Slides is not yet at par, no, and not at the level of Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, but this should Google Slides now has its own capabilities and advantages and also benefits as a presentation maker. And that's what we're going to highlight in this presentation. Okay, so hopefully, teachers, we get to also no, like benefit on this session still, no, despite our like immense knowledge of the Google Slides already. Okay, so teachers, that's again, we'll go with the basics, then advanced features, and then integrating slides, and then we'll go to open forum. Let's talk about anything that you'll have on Google Slides. No, and of course, okay, as always, we invite everyone to share their thoughts, ideas, and things that you I think no you how you've used Google Slides in your own classes. Okay, put that in the chat so we could also discuss that. Okay, let's make this a collaborative setup, a collaborative webinar no, for today. Okay, so just like always, okay, laging, you know, our sessions in KTS always been like that. No? The community leading the discussions as well as input. Okay. Okay, so let's begin with Google Slides, no, and what Google Slides is. Okay, so Google Slides Teachers is a productivity and collaborative tool for the Google from the Google Workspace for education for creating presentations. It's part of the Google Workspace for education. Together with, you know, it's actually part of a much like cohesive group called the Collaborative Tools, together with the Google Docs, Google Sheets, no. So yung tatlo na yun, these are the triumvirate of productivity tools by Google. Okay, so and again, this part Google Slides is part of that much bigger whole Google Workspace for education. Okay, so let's go on first with our access points teachers. Okay, so there are like a couple of access points to Google Slides. Okay, so we have of course our slides at google.com. That's our address, okay, to our to Google Slides. Of course, okay, let's not forget that Google Slides can also be accessed via your Google Apps launcher in your Chrome. That's the waffle icon, okay, for those who still don't know that. Okay, but for those who have been attending our sessions in KTS and those who have gone through our training, they know that we call that no that 9 dot icon in your Google Chrome. That's what we call for the community, from the community, the waffle icon. Okay, so we can actually go over there and check out no the Google Slides. Okay, but of course our address, okay, for our Google Slides. Okay, if you want to like an easy, quick access, you can go and type in slides at google.com into your Omnibox or into your address bar. Okay, to access it. For example, if you go there, it will bring me to Google Slides. Okay, and this is what you're going to see, teachers now. Okay, so when you start off with your Google Slides, teachers, okay, there are 3 ways to go over and start off your Google Slides. Okay, you have the first one is always, of course, starting from a blank presentation. Okay, so you have here a blank option here. Okay, so when you click that, it's going to open a blank presentation. But of course, teachers, no, if you really aim no, or really meant to open a new slide, okay, do not forget that our shortcut for that is slides that new. Okay, to be able to open a new slide, no, and okay, aside from opening from a new slide, okay, do not forget as well that when you open slides at google.com, it will also show you your most recent presentations right here. For example, I have my most recently opened presentations. Okay, and okay, the last thing, no, the last one that you can actually start, no, when you open Google Slides is via template gallery, which I really hope, teachers, no, na matingnan natin at mapuntahan natin, because sometimes we do not get to that and we miss the so many templates no, that's already been offered by Google Slides for us, so that we do not always start from scratch. Plus, these are templates no, designed by professionals. Okay, so you'll have a very professional looking templates. Okay, and plus you don't get to again no, spend some time into designing the slides. Okay, which of course our educators are already swamped with so much work, documents, okay, reports, etc., lesson planning, and all of those things no are even more important, of course. Okay, but of course we also don't want to to like make or present a presentation that's not like eye-catching, because we know for a fact that that's actually going to help as well to catch the attention or to get the attention of our viewers. Plus, don't forget that your presentation is your visual aid, which aids in understanding of your students or who anyone who's actually watching you. Okay, so taking ano no we also have to mind our graphics aesthetics, okay, for that matter. But again, sometimes don't have time to do that, and therefore, okay, using templates is a way to go about that. Okay, and plus you also have a pre layout slides. Okay, so you have one for education, you have for personal. Okay, you also have for work. Okay, templates. Okay, you can also start from there. And of course, yeah, okay, so those are some of the templates you can actually get from Google Slides. Okay, so go there, teachers, and visit it and check out, this wonderful slides, okay, that you can use. Okay, okay, so that's for our access point, teachers. No, and again, do not forget, teachers, no, that you can always access your Google Slides, okay, from our Chrome browser, from our waffle icon, okay, from the upper right corner, okay, right there. That's our waffle icon, okay, and that gives you the access to your different tools, okay, in your Google Workspace account, okay, right there. And you will see one of the icons there, Google Slides, okay. So that should be one of your go-to access points as well. Okay, of course, we can always also start, okay, creating a blank presentation right from Google Drive. So if you're from Google Drive, you don't need to go out and create your presentation. You can also start your presentation right from your Google Drive. Okay, but anyway, teachers, let's not forget that any presentation that you make in your account, in your Google account, actually ends up in your Google Drive. Okay, um, so those are, teachers, no, those are some of the ways, and the many ways actually to start off your presentation in with Google Slides. Okay. You can also, of course, no, make sure that in teachers now we maximize our access to Google Slides, okay, by downloading your iOS or Android applications of Google Slides. I've not really using that much now because we're at home and I have my laptop. Okay, but from my recent visit and inspection of the Google Slides, okay, mobile app, it's actually very powerful already. You don't need your laptop anymore or your desktop. Okay, it actually allows you to do just very much anything, no, that your desktop app or your browser access can do for you. So go ahead and download that Google Slides, okay, mobile app, no, iOS or Android. It should give you an access to Google Slides. Okay. Now let's go over and look at the basics of Google Slides features. Okay, before we even go to some of the advanced features. No, and these ones, of course, definitely you'll know them. We're just going to like resurface it or talk about it so that we'll have a complete understanding of Google Slides. Okay, so that will again by strengthening your foundations, we get to strengthen your advance and proficiency of using Google Slides. Okay. Okay, so teachers, the first one is on collaboration. Okay, and this is a very important aspect of Google Slides. No, you can't like this is one of like this is a basic fundamental aspect or feature of Google Slides, and yet this is one of the most beautiful aspect of Google Slides. Okay, and there's so many ways that you can collaborate. Okay, and share your files. No, okay. So the first one, of course, is let me just go over to my sample. Okay, just exit here, so we can stop presentation. So I can really show you because I'm using Google Slides now. Of course, we'll have to walk the talk, teachers. Okay, teachers. Now, so for example, the first one is of course sharing your files. Okay, so if you just go over to that upper right corner, you'll be able to your sharing button. Okay, so if you just click on your sharing button, now here's what some people would usually miss, teachers, know that our sharing protocol in Google Slides and for the rest of your Google files actually is divided into two important key principles of sharing. Okay, so the first one, the first option of sharing, teachers, now in Google Slides and for the rest of your Google files is actually what we call private sharing. Okay, and when we do private sharing, teachers, it's not about sharing your files or not sharing your files entirely. Okay, when we say private sharing, teachers, it means that we're limiting the number of people who can access our files. Okay, so if you, for example, you don't mean for many people to access your file, then don't go and share that link. Okay, make sure that you add those people into your file, okay, as a collaborator, using email. Okay, because that will give them a more specified access to your Google Slides. Okay, and here I'm going to show you later on, teachers. Now, so for example, here I can add, for example, so you can simply type an email. So for example, let's just add my other email, Kaagapay Teacher Support. Okay, and when you go over and when you add an email, okay, notice that you also have the capacity or the option to change the permission of that person. And usually this is what we miss. Okay. Teachers, when you add a particular person, that person by default will be on editor mode. So make sure that you do change that if you don't intend that person to be an editor. Okay. So when you want to change permission settings, okay, so when you add a person already, you type in the email, you go over here on the right side, you'll see a drop down menu. If you click on that, teachers, okay, you'll see viewer, commenter, and editor. And the basic difference here is the access and permission they have on your file. Okay. So if you, for example, set them as viewer, it would basically allow them to view and download the file. Okay. So that would mean um, they would not be able to edit, they will not be able to comment, okay, on the file. Okay, but what if, for example, we can also change if they can just view the file. Okay, there's some files that actually are like that. Okay, we're going to go over to that one later on. Okay. You can also set them as a commenter. It adds another layer of permission. So view, download, and comment. Okay, those are the three things that a commenter can do. And then, of course, your editor will basically have the full access to your file, organize it, file it. But again, teachers, okay, we also have another way to change this. Okay, this dimensions, no, or permissions, okay, to these people. Okay, so even if, for example, I set someone to a viewer, I can actually prevent someone from downloading, making a copy of my presentation. Okay. Or for example, if I set them to editor, I can actually also limit them from changing the permission settings and the sharing settings. So how do I do that? Okay. When I, for example, go here, teachers, okay, when I'm in my private settings, now private sharing settings, okay, I have that cog button on the upper right corner. If you just click on that, teachers, that actually gives you these other options or these other permission settings. Okay, the first one here is that editors can change permission settings and sharing. That's by default given to your editors, but you can actually take it away. So for example, I want them to be able to edit the presentation, but I do not want them to change permission and sharing or share the file. I can actually tick that off, and my editors will only be able to organize, to edit, okay, to comment, okay, but not change permission settings of the files. Okay, or you can also remove some abilities to your viewers. Okay, so for example, if you set your the people you added as viewers, okay, you can actually limit them to just viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, and copy. That's given to them by default. But if I just tick that box, teachers, all my viewers cannot like download, print, and copy. Okay, so they can only view, just view. Okay, that's the only thing they can do in my presentation. Okay, so that teachers know that should change, okay, further your permission settings, okay, that you do in your in your presentation. Okay, now I've told you that that's the first option, that's the first kind of sharing in Google Slides. Okay, the second one is actually when you share your files, okay, using a link. Right? So for example, let's just okay, add and send that. Okay. And again, by the way, teachers, no, you can always alter, okay, the sharing permissions of each person in your Google Slides. That they don't need to all be viewers, editors, okay, at the same time. They can actually a combination of viewers, okay, editor and commenter. Look at that, teachers. When I have added now, Kaagapay teacher support, I still have an option to change the permission settings. So anytime, for example, you want to remove that particular sharing settings, you can actually go over and change the permission settings. Plus, you can actually now explore giving the permission or the ownership of your file. But um, there's a catch to this, teachers, and there's a condition. Okay, changing making an owner or transferring ownership. No, as far as I based on my knowledge and experience, okay, you can only change ownership if they belong to the same domain. So, for example, okay, you do belong both for in deped.gov.ph, then you can actually change or transfer ownership. But for example, one belongs to deped.gov.ph, but one belongs to a more specific domain called deped.qc.gov.ph. Those are actually two different domains already. Okay, so you cannot like change ownership or transfer ownership in that way. Okay, and of course you can always remove them if you need to. Okay, but here's the other one. There's the other way of sharing. Okay, if you just go and click on get the link. Okay, you can actually share your file. Okay, to people. Okay, using a link. Okay, and let's go on first with if I want my presentation, okay, to be shared via a link but still private, okay, I can actually go over and click on that. No, there's an option to restrict my link, okay, but restricting your link, teachers, does not mean no one can access it, okay. It only means that restricted link means that it's you plus anyone you added on top via email can access your link, okay. So this is actually a powerful combo of making or creating or sharing a private presentation. Okay, you can add them via email plus restrict the link, so you could share the link to them. Okay, and even if they reshare the link to other people, those people will not be able to enter your presentation. Okay, so that's actually a powerful combo in making sure that your presentation remains to be private. Okay, but if you go over and click on that drop-down menu, teachers, you can actually show it here that you can change the permission access to your domain. Okay, so that's the second level. Okay, now if you are using a personal accounts that ends with @gmail.com, you will not have the second option. It's either just restricted or anyone with the link. Okay, the one in the middle is only if you are using a Google Workspace for Education account. Okay, that's why you have, for example, my domain is Saver School. Okay, and therefore I have that option to limit the link to my domain. Now, what it does, teachers, is that you can share the link to many people, but the link is limited to the people belonging to your domain, which means they will be asked to log in. If they don't have the same email as yours, okay, they will not be able to access your file. Okay, and of course, okay, the most public way of sharing, okay, it's a presentation that you want to share to everyone. That should be anyone with the link. Okay, but again, take note, teachers. Okay, huwag kakalimutan that even if you're sharing your files via a link, you still have that option right here that your file, no, what the people accessing your link can do, no. So the first one, of course, viewer, the same thing, view, download, and view, download, you view and download. Okay, commenter, view, download, and comment, and of course, editor can edit your file. Okay, but again, the sharing here, teachers, is followed by the sharing on top. If you, for example, remove the download copy and make a copy option for viewers, that's also being removed for these people, okay, who's accessing your link. Okay, so mind your presentation sharing, okay, because that could spell, okay, your the success of your collaboration or the problems your collaboration. You don't want, like, for example, 100 people editing your presentation at the same time. Okay, now just a tip, teachers, no, if we are, for example, sharing, okay, a presentation, okay, there's actually a way called force a copy, okay, when sharing a template. Okay, so when you go over, teachers, no, what they call this, when you go over your presentation, notice that on top you have you have here an address, okay, in your Omnibox teachers, the address to your presentation, okay. When you simply just change the end or the back end of your presentation to copy, okay. For example, let me go over that and share you this presentation, okay. Okay, so for example, I just simply change the back end of my presentation, the edit and whatever numbers that follows the edit. I put copy instead, okay? And then I copy that teachers, okay? Just open that. Okay. Now I just simply copy that teachers, and if I open here a tab, okay, and copy paste that address, okay, this is what your viewers, no, or collaborators will see. They will not see your presentation. They will not see your actual or original slides. Okay, they will be forced to make a copy. So this is what we call force a copy option. Okay, this actually works for all your files, by the way, teachers. No, even for Google Forms, Google Docs, Google Sheets. Okay, this actually works. No, by simply changing the back end of your address to copy, you're able to force a copy to your audience. And this is now what you're going to share. Instead of going and getting the links to your presentation, you are now just going to share the address note to your presentation. Okay, but then don't worry, they will not be able to see the presentation, the original presentation. Now, teachers, there's just one condition when you're doing the force a copy option. Okay, whenever you do that, okay, make sure that you are um, that your presentation is shared to anyone with the link, either viewer, okay? Because if the link, no, or your presentation is not shared to anyone with the link, they will not be able to make a copy. And what's going to happen? They're going to ask for access to your presentation. You will be bombarded by email, by request for access. If you force a copy, will you still be able to see their own copy? Hindi na. Okay, so that's all the teacher pal. That's going to be their own copy already, and you do not have the owner and the host, no, will not have an option to see, no, what's happening in your slides, okay, or in your template until that particular slide, no, has been shared to you or reshared to you. Okay. So that's teachers, no, our force a copy. Of course, teachers, aside from sharing files, okay, for collaboration, you can always do commenting and live chatting. Okay, so let me just go over and forget to okay for a while, teachers. So, for example, teachers, when you want to make a comment, okay, although again there are shortcuts here, but I always just use the buttons. If you highlight, for example, any part of your presentation, you can actually go over and click add a comment here, okay. So it's Command K by for me. So insert a you have here a button, okay, called add a comment, okay, sorry, Command Option M. That's for MacBook. But for I forgot for Windows, okay, but there should be a what they call this, a shortcut for that as well. Okay, let me just for a while. Okay. Okay, and of course, teachers, no, commenting is one of the best way, of course, no, on working with others, okay, in your presentation, okay, because it allows you to actually like engage in a conversation, okay, comment on things, okay, if things are like should be changed, okay, and of course, when you click that, it will appear now on the right side. You can actually comment on your presentation, okay. For example, please edit this. Let's go over. Okay. Probably teachers now. I think my presentation is hanging. Okay. Anyway, yeah. And so you can actually please edit. Okay. And when you comment the teachers, you can actually comment it right away, or you can actually also tag a person by simply using the plus sign or the at sign teachers. You can actually direct a comment to a person so that they get to be notified. Because if you just comment, for example, you will not be your collaborators will not actually be will know if something has been commented and they're the ones to supposed to answer it. So you can, if it's something that you need to like directly give to someone, you'll have to you can, no, tag a person by simply using the plus sign or the at sign for that person. You can actually comment on that. Okay. And of course, a pro tip for the teachers is always explore using an extension called one of our favorite extension, okay, all-time favorite extension is to use the Mote extension. Um, Mote extension teachers right here is an extension that you can add to your Chrome, okay? Just right click on that. You can also do right click teachers, okay, to comment, okay? And what Mote does, teachers, is that it gives you that option. Notice that in my comment section or comment box, I have that button, okay, with the letter M, okay, purple box right there. That actually gives me an option to comment. That gives me an option, teachers, to comment using an audio instead of a text, no? And that's actually very useful, especially, for example, if you're giving comments to papers, okay, or to presentations, okay, or and you want to say a lot, but you don't want to type that long, you can actually use that Mote extension. Here, if I just click on that, I can now start recording in my presentation with a voice comment, okay? And what's good about this Mote, teachers, no, it does not require you, the audience, no, or the viewers, okay, or if it's your students, no, they do not need to download the Mote extension, okay? So they can still hear what you have said in that comment, no, just fine, okay? Even without a Mote extension. Only the one using the Mote extension, if you want to leave an audio comment right there. So now I have an audio comment, which my students or my whoever will view my presentation can click and go over and do this. Hear my audio comment. Okay. Now the live chatting, teachers, no, is done. Okay. If you could, yes, teachers, no, baka na ano lang, hindi natin to masyado napapansin because there's a requirement to do this. Okay. For you to be able, no, to for someone to be able to access, okay, or to chat with you live, okay, both parties, no, or both editors or collaborators must be present, no. Yes, no, Teacher Mary Elsie Gonzalez, that's Mote extension. Okay. Let me send you the link later. No, Teacher Mary will send it in the chat box later. Okay. Now, going back, teachers, live chatting is only or can be done only if you, okay, or and your collaborators are both online. Okay. Let me just bring my other account now online. Okay. So that we can really see in real time this live chatting capability, because actually this is a very powerful collaborative feature of Google Slides, no, which we can use. Okay, because if you are both live and you can actually chat, no, you don't need to comment on the presentation. You can actually talk to each other and talk about what you should put in your presentation. Okay. And again, that only works if both parties, no, or both collaborators are online. So let me just go over and open my this presentation from my other account. Okay, so like we could see what's happening and how does it happen when we have live chatting. Okay, so for teachers, by the way, while I'm opening my presentation from my other account, are there questions, okay, concerns, okay, or comments so far? Okay, aside from teacher Mary L. Gonzalez requesting for that Mote extension. Okay. But teacher Mary L. C. Gonzalez Pahente, if you just go to Chrome Web Store, it should be downloadable from there. Okay. Or we'll wait, no, because definitely teacher Pau, okay, will will take the initiative. Napaka-active yung teacher Pau, eh. Okay. And she'll be able to help us get that link. Okay. Okay, teachers, I'm just waiting for my presentation to go live in my other account. Okay, we'll just wait for that. Okay, once it's there, okay, once it's there, teachers, no, we will be able to see all our live viewers, no, and all the live editors or collaborators in our presentation. Okay, right here on top of our presentation. Okay, so that's near the that arrow logo or icon. We'll just wait for a while, teachers. Okay. 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 Now, as while we're waiting for that, teachers, no, since we don't want to to delay our. So we'll just wait for my other account to go live in my presentation. But while we're waiting for that, okay, let us also not forget that one other thing, other ways not to collaborate in your Google Slides is using your version history. Okay, so version history, teachers, now gives you a option to go back. Okay, yes, you can actually go back and look for. Let me see. Okay, for a while, teachers. Sorry for this delay. Okay. Okay. So now teachers, no, the other way to collaborate in your Google Slides is using version history and view history. Yes, meron na po tayong view history, teachers, no, just added this year. Okay. But let me go over with version history first. Okay. So our version history can be accessed from this link, teachers. If you just go on top, okay, of your presentation, you'll see there the last edit 4 minutes ago. That's actually a shortcut to your version history. Okay. So you just go over and click that. Okay, that will show you your the version history or the different changes in your presentation over time. Okay, the first time you created it and until the most recent edit. Okay, that will give you that view. So I'll just, for example, click that, and you will see here, okay, my version history, teachers. Okay, just wait for it for a while. And what's good about teachers, no, when you're dealing with your version history, you can actually go back, no, and what do you call this? Revert back to a particular version. Okay? Especially, for example, may mga presentations tayo na nagalaw, nagkamali, na-edit unnecessarily. We can actually always go back to them. Okay? So, like, for example, right now, you can see my version history. And what's good about version history, teachers? You can also track here all edits. Ibig sabihin, okay? Lahat ng mga nag-edit ng document nyo are properly tracked. No? Lahat ng inedit nila, all the changes they created in your presentation are all taken care of. Okay? And this is actually pretty much useful whenever, for example, you assign collaborative presentations. So you could track progress, no, contributions of your students. No more freeloading. Yan ang sa pinakamalaking problema natin when we go about collaborative works, no, we don't actually know exactly how much and what extent is the contribution of a student. But here, teachers, no, in version history, you can actually track that. All editors are color coded. You can see here. Ako lang yung editor. That's why I'm the only color right here. But you can see that all color codings corresponds to all the edits. Okay, so ibig sabihin, whatever color am I, okay, all my edits will also reflect accordingly on the slides. Okay, so I would be able, no, as a teacher, for example, teachers, no, you will be able to exactly know what edit they made and what were their contributions in that collaborative slide. And if, for example, I click on a particular version, teachers, no, for example, I go back to my July 25 655 version. Okay, notice that you have there, okay, whenever you go back to a version, you have there on the upper right corner a restore version. You can actually go back to it, teachers. Yes, okay? Yes, here, your past can be reverted back. Okay? Pwedeng balikan ang mga past dito, ang mga nakaraan, teachers. Okay? So that's how teachers know we can make use of the version history. But a more common questions when we talk about version history, teachers, is what if, for example, I want to just restore a particular slide, okay, or a particular version, okay? I don't want to like change the current version of because that's good already, but I want to extract a particular version. Teachers, you can do that, no? If you just go to your version, okay, you will see there the three dots, okay? In the community, we call it chocolate chips, okay? So if you just go and click that chocolate chips, teachers, no, it will give you the option to make a copy of that version. Okay, you'll not change the current version. You'll just extract the particular version that you want. Okay, so for example, this is a template, and you want to extract the original template. You can actually do so by doing that. And that's teachers know how we make use of the version. But of course, teachers know do not use this to punish students. Okay, this is not a way to just police them and hulihin kung sino yung mga preloaders natin. This is actually a formative tool, okay, that we can use, okay, in order to remind our students, oy, you might want to visit your Google Slides because you have not visited in like a month or so. Okay. So teachers, yan ang ating. And ito na, teachers, no? Bago ako pumunta kay view history, gusto ko nang ipakita sa inyo ngayon dahil naka-live na yung isa kong account dito sa slide na to. Okay? Notice I have now this option. Okay? Lumabas na ngayon yung aking chat option, okay? On my presentation, and I can actually go over and click that icon, okay? And I can start chatting with whoever is online right there. Okay? So a chat box now will appear on the right side, teachers, of your presentation, and you can begin typing and you can begin like chatting with this person. Okay, please edit the title. Okay, for example, yeah. So I can start. And by the way, teachers, no, don't forget. Okay, do not forget that your chat the chat now is not actually stored. Okay, so there's this gets lost no once you close or gets offline from your presentation. Okay, so hindi siya nasa store. Okay, just take note of that. Okay. So again, may reminder naman doon, document chats are not saved. Okay, but again, this is a perfect way of collaborating in real time. Okay, hindi natin kailangan ng additional chat. No, and of course, no, if you're not yet been updated, teachers, no, coming in this 2021, okay, Google will update our Google productivity tools and will actually be able to start a meeting within our Google productivity tools. I'm just not quite sure yet kung isasama yung Google Slides, pero sa Google Docs kasi ipapasok na siya, so you can actually start a meeting inside your document, no, coming this 2021. Okay, and we hopefully get to see that as well in Google Slides. Okay. And of course, going back to our sharing and collaborating teachers, of course, you also have your view history right here. View history, teachers, no, shows you all activities in your Google Slides. Okay? And it's one of the things that most teachers have been looking for quite a long time. Okay? They've been looking for, how do I monitor who's accessing my file? Now you can actually do that. Okay? You go over here, teachers, on top of your tools, and you see there that arrow, okay, icon. Okay, you just click on that, teachers, that will show you your view history. Okay, yeah, that's it, teachers. No, so it will show you all the people who have accessed your files, what they did. Okay, all your the viewers trend, okay, the comment trend as well, sharing history, who's been sharing your files, okay, etc. Okay. So all of these are viewable, okay, in your activity dashboard or view history. Okay, and look at these teachers. You can see that a person, okay, another account accessed my file, Kaagapay Issue Support. That was the account that I used, no, in order to activate that live chat, okay, to go online. Okay. So teachers, that's view history, and of course the last one, no, that the last tool in Google Slides that we can use for collaboration is whenever we make an edit, teachers, no, always try to make an effort, okay, to inform your collaborators. Okay, you can actually easily go into files, teachers. When you go to files, okay, you'll see there email, okay, right here. And one of the options in email is email collaborators. Okay, so you could, so that you could inform them there has been a change in your Google Slides. Okay, or there's been a change in our Google Slides. Please check it out. Okay, so that they're properly informed that there are changes in the presentation. Okay, because sometimes we forget to do that, and our collaborators are not like aware that there are changes, okay, in the presentation. Okay. So teachers, those are ways to collaborate, no, in our presentation. Okay, let's now move on. Okay, the next few ones are very fast, teachers, no, until we get to the advanced features. But let me just go over and highlight these things. Okay. Okay, so the next one is on Rich Text Editor. Okay, so this, of course, no, we also have the Rich Text Editor here. So we just, when you go to a particular text, okay, it will show you the different options on top. Okay, you have different font size, okay, font styles, font sizes, your bold, italics, okay, underline, okay, color font, highlighting as well is also here for your for the text. Okay. Now, teachers, wag po nating kalimutan. Okay, for a while, sorry. Okay. na kokonti lang talaga ang fonts ni Google Slides, no, compared to other presentations, and that's one thing that many people have been complaining about Google Slides. Okay, but teachers, no, if you just go over, okay, your your text, no, and click on fonts, no, the drop down, there's actually more fonts right there. Okay, it's not as, of course, still not as many as those in Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, but it should give you more options. If you just click on that more fonts, okay, that should give you an option, okay, um, to add more fonts, no, available in your list of Google or sorry fonts, no, in your Google Slides. Okay, so you have here the different fonts that you can add, okay, into your slide. Okay, so there are options, no, that again not many, but should give you more options. Okay, that should give you more ability to format your text. Okay. Okay. So let's now go to the next one on paragraph and format. Case, of course, okay, we also have the different formatting for paragraphs. So you have your bullet points, okay, right here. You also have your alignment, okay, indentation if it's increasing and decreasing indent, and of course numbering as well, and spacing are also present here. Okay, so we can all do that in our Google Slides. Again, those are basic for presentations. Okay, so we also have that here in Google Slides. Okay, now next one is on background layout and theme and transition. Okay, so all of these features are also present in your Google Slides. Okay, so if you just go and click your slide, no, these options does not appear until you click on a particular slide. Okay. So when you click on a particular slide, teachers, you will have now these options. Okay, so you can change the background. Okay, basically the background is you can change the color, you can put an image into it. Okay, um, for your presentation. So let's just go over, okay, and check that out. So I have here, for example, a blank slide. Okay, and here, teachers, you can actually limit, no, the change in your background into your a particular slide. Okay, so for example, if I click background here, I can choose an image. So these are my options. I can choose a color for my background. Okay, for example, let's use a Google color, Google Slides color. Okay, and of course, no, if it's an image, you can also do that. And this is actually a trick many teachers are using. If, for example, there's something that you put in your presentation that you don't want to be moved, you put it and set it as a background. So, for example, if it's like if you're a math teacher, no, ginagamit ng mga math teachers to, what you can actually do, for example, is to pin or to put your set of solutions into your background, okay, as an image, okay, and that will become unmovable. Okay, so you can actually solve and go right over it. Okay, so for example, this is what happens now when I change the background, okay, of my presentation. Okay, so again, that could also be an image. No, doesn't need to be just color. Okay, and of course, I can also change layout. Okay, layout are preset arrangement, no, but you can always go about and use your own layouts, no. But this gives you an idea how texts are supposed to be arranged. Okay, vis-a-vis your images, no, your videos, etc. Okay, so all of these things are given to you in the layout section. And of course, theme. There are some preset themes that you can choose from. This gives you options now, okay, on how what the different layouts, okay, and designs, okay, into your presentation if you don't want to start now from scratch. Okay, so you can actually choose, although not many. Okay, but mamaya meron naman tayong mga options where to get other themes and templates, no, aside from here. Okay, and of course, if you are a fan of using transitions, you can also do that. Okay, although ako, teachers, no, personally, I'm not really a fan anymore of transitions right now, especially in an online distance learning setup, because every time you put a transition, it actually adds more no, memory that your slides have to use in which makes it a little bit slower. Okay, and that should be a consideration when we are making presentations online. Okay, so be careful. So but basically, when you click transition here, you can choose among the different transitions available. Okay, so dissolve, fade, slide from right or left, okay, flip, cube, gallery, etc. Okay. You can do that. And of course, kay kasama na rin doon yung animation. You can actually go about animating your shapes, no, your images, even your text. Okay. So those are our background layout, theme, and transition. Well, let's now go over inserting, cropping, and masking image. Okay. Now, teachers, kapag nag-insert tayo ng image, no, this is what's good about when we're doing it in Google Slides. Okay, is that your image no could come from different sources. Hindi siya kailangan from the isang source lang, no. So when we go over and go on, sir, tama ba once tapos ka na with your yes po, Sir Joshua, your present is also what's good, no? Thanks so much, Sir Joshua, for bringing that up. Your presentation is actually intermittently being saved every time you make an edit. Okay? And therefore, okay, walang nawawala dun sa presentation just in case ma-disconnect ka or mawalan ka ng connection, ma-lobat ang laptop mo, computer mo, or mobile mo, your presentation is safe in your Google Drive. Just go to back to your Google Drive, Sir Joshua. You'll find your presentation right there waiting for you to edit it once again, okay? Without losing any bit or any part of it, okay? That's one of the beauty of Google Slides, okay? Now, let's go over and start inserting image, okay, teachers? When you go in insert, okay, you'll see there an option, teachers, to add an image, okay? And your image could come from different sources. The first one is it could be uploaded from your computer. The second one is from the web. Okay. Third one is from your Google Drive, Google Photos, if you're using Google Photos. By URL, URL is basically the address of your image. All our images have addresses, teachers, no, online. Okay. And of course, you can also directly get from your camera. But here's what I would like to show. No, I would like to show getting an image from the web because this is a very, very good integration point, okay? When inserting an image, okay? Now, when we insert an image, teachers, no, from the web, okay, we can actually get no from the web directly, and it will not redirect you out of your presentation. Your images no could be searched from here, okay, in your presentation itself. Okay, so lalabas din sa right side niya, teachers, yung search engine ni Google. Jin Torneo, what shall we click if we want only one background for all the slides? Okay, teachers, you can simply highlight no your slides, okay, so that it would follow your the background for all of those of your slides, okay? Or Sir Jean, you can also try no changing your master slide later on. I will talk about that later, okay? When we talk about master slides, okay? Wherein when once you edit your master slide, it appears to all of your slides, okay? So you can go on in one go, change all your backgrounds, okay? So you don't need to like copy paste and do it per slide, okay? Okay, so teachers, let me just go over and search, for example, an image here. Let's search Google Slides, okay? Since we're talking about Google Slides, okay? Um, and I'll get Google Slides here. And it's so easy, teachers, no, to insert a Google slide here. For example, I click an image here from the right side, okay, and I click insert, okay, from the lower part. You'll see lower right corner, ability to insert, or you can actually drag it, teachers. No, it's actually draggable, okay. So here, teachers, it's now been inserted into my presentation, okay. So you can easily now resize your images, teachers. Don't forget now when you're resizing photos, okay, or images, always resize from the corners. Okay, the corners gives you or preserves the ratio no, or aspect ratio of your images. Okay, so ibig sabihin hindi tumataba or pumapayat yung images nyo. So if you, for example, click that yung sa corner, it will preserve, no? So ganun pa rin yung kanyang size. Okay, so please take note of that. Okay. For resizing, you can always relocate that. And of course, by double clicking your image, that gives you the ability to crop it. Okay, although you have the button there on top, but the shortcut for that is simply double tap. When you double tap your image, teachers, lalabas na dun sa image yung black adjustment lines. Okay, so when you start adjusting those lines, you are now able to crop that image. Okay. Okay, so you're now able to crop the image properly. Okay, so that's for cropping an image now. Aside from cropping features, we also have the ability to mask an image. No, because always some teachers are asking, what if, for example, I want to put like a um, a um, a shape not to the image in my presentation. You can actually do that, teachers, by going over, clicking your image here and just going on top. You see there a button, okay, the crop button, but beside it, you actually have there, okay, beside the crop button, you actually have there the mask image button. If you just click on there, you have now the shapes or the different shapes, no, to crop your image. You can actually select, for example, let's select this oval, and that now should turn my image into, or mask my image into oval right there. Okay, so that now gives you more options to manipulate your images, teachers. Of course, you can always readjust, okay, the size, etc. Okay. Okay, yan. Okay, now teachers, that's for inserting, cropping, and masking images. By the way, teachers, no, ang isa sa pinakamaganda rin na when you're inserting images right from your Google search, go into your Google Slides, okay, from here, those images actually will contain addresses where they came from. Okay, so citation-wise or attribution-wise, it's actually done automatically as well. Okay. Next, teachers, is on inserting videos and audio. Okay, now here's the condition, no, for inserting videos and audio into your presentations. Okay? This could only come from two sources. Okay, your video or your audio could actually come either from, sorry, your video first could actually just come from your Google Drive or from YouTube. Nowhere else, teachers. It cannot come directly from your computer. So if, for example, I go over insert, okay, I click insert from my tab, okay, and insert a video, I will be prompted to do this, okay. I will now be able to get it from search, no? That's also YouTube, okay? By URL, that's also by YouTube, okay? And of course, okay, by Google Drive, right there. So if you're going or planning to insert a video that you made, okay, you have to first now put that in your Google Drive to be able to use it, okay? Or teachers, now if not, okay, if not from your Google Drive, it could actually also come from YouTube. Now, for example, let's just go over and insert a video from YouTube, okay? And this is how easy, especially if the video is available in YouTube, you should be able to easier, and it's much easier, to insert a video from there. For example, let's just search a video from about Google Slides, okay? And that should now, okay, example, show me, okay? Example, this is a video, complete beginner's guide for Google Slides, okay? Okay, so I just insert that here, teachers. Now, there are a couple of advantages now when you use YouTube video into your Google Slides. Okay, number one, it does not actually weigh into your drive, okay, because it's a link, okay, going to YouTube. Okay, so hindi bumibigat yung Google Drive mo. Okay, so that's actually one of the advantage when you're using a video from Google Drive, from YouTube. Although if you're using it from Google Drive, okay, it does not double the weight of your file. Okay, so don't worry that your file no will be inserted or will weigh as twice as much, okay, into your Google Drive. Okay, just adjust that. Okay. Okay. Now, the first advantage when you're inserting a video via YouTube, teachers, is that notice that if you play the video here, okay, you can actually make use of what we call the full screen mode of YouTube, no? Okay, so let's, for example, play that. Okay.
Hey, and welcome to this beginning
Notice,
to
teachers,
Google Slides.
pause ko lang, but you can notice, teachers, no, that in my YouTube, in that video, you have there an option to click that full screen mode, okay? So that even if the video is actually small in your presentation, you can actually enter into a full screen mode, okay? So that you can actually see, no, the entire video in its entirety and not just small box, no, that we format it in your presentation, okay? So that's, sorry. Okay, that's one advantage, no, of using YouTube videos. Okay, now aside from that, teachers know whenever we insert a video, it's actually not just YouTube video, but any video in our presentation. Notice that when you go to the right side, it automatically shows you the video or the format options for your video. And one of the best things about the format video, okay, is that you can actually set, no, when or where your video will start. Diba sometimes meron tayong mga videos that we don't want to watch the entire thing. For example, that video is like 18 minutes, but I just want to show like 5 minutes of that video between the 5th minute mark down to the 10-minute mark. Okay, so I can actually limit, no, sorry, our viewing, okay, to just those times or to just those minutes. Okay, let me just edit that. Okay. Okay. So now the video will start at the 5th minute, okay, and end at the 10th minute, okay, so that you can actually fully maximize your viewing time. We also don't want to watch an entire video in a presentation, okay. So that's something that I don't know, you can set. If, for example, this is an asynchronous presentation that you're giving to your students as a material, you can actually do that so that your students can focus on a particular set or particular part of the video you want them to watch. Okay, so that's teachers for inserting video. Now, for audio teachers, it goes the same way. Okay, it must come from your Google Drive. Okay, and at the same thing. Okay, you can actually also edit and also adjust the time of the audio similar to a video. Okay, doesn't this works the same way. Okay. Okay, next one is on inserting word art. Okay, so reminiscing on of my high school days, teachers, no, when we're using Microsoft present PowerPoint presentation, and we are required, okay, to submit, no, word art, okay, requirements. Okay, but now, teachers, we can also do that, okay, in your presentation. Okay, on a word that basically is it gives you that ability to create, no, titles, okay, colorful titles. Okay, so you just go to insert and then you have there an option word art. Okay, it now shows you this, okay, a box. Okay, it will appear like give you a box, okay, which you will type your text. Okay. Okay, and then it will now insert that. Okay, although my font is Arial. Okay, but yeah, that's basically um, now what's good about these teachers, no, sorry, is that your your word art now, no, the feeling of your word art can actually now be edited. Okay, let me just adjust this for a while. Apologies, teachers, na medyo mabagal po ang aking internet connection. That's why it's yeah, nag-overlap yung mga actions ko. Okay. Anyway, so just go, teachers, and edit that. You can now start putting, for example, a feeling color or fill color for your word art. Okay. And what I'd like to do here, teachers, is to do the gradient, okay, option, okay, when you're doing inserting color, and you can actually customize, no, okay. For example, if I add custom, I could actually start adding colors into my presentation. Okay, so just for example, add a color here, blue. Okay, let's add that. Okay, and then if you just, for example, choose another color, like let's create a rainbow color for my daughters. Okay, let's add that. Okay, and if I click OK, teachers, I actually was able to combine multiple colors, okay, to create a gradient, okay, title right there. Okay, so that's actually one way, no, to make your presentation much more engaging and much more interactive, no, by creating word art. And you can actually experiment on that, teachers. Now, there's so many ways to go about that. Okay, and okay, couple of more things for advanced, for basic teachers. Nasa basic pa lang po tayo teachers, no? Inserting a diagram, okay? And this one is actually very nice, no? When we are visualizing information. If you just go, teachers, and click insert again, okay? You can actually go and click on that diagram, okay, right there. And it shows you on the right side, no, all your options for a diagram, okay? And what's good about this is that when you're choosing a diagram, okay, you can actually choose the levels, no? For example, if I'm looking to create a timeline, okay, because I'm a history teacher, okay, there are actually levels that you can choose, okay? You have this 4 levels, okay, right there. But you can actually change that, okay, to although there's still limitation, okay, the levels are just 4 and 5 and 6, no. So for example, I go for 6 levels, okay, so I can insert a timeline with 6 points, okay, or 6 levels. Okay, I can do that now. For example, I choose I can also change colors if I want, okay, the color scheme or the color palette. Okay, I can change, for example, to red, okay, and it will show me palette that's using red, okay. So example, I insert this diagram right there, okay. So that's actually a very easy way, no, to insert a diagram, and you can edit practically all parts of it, okay, for your own use, okay. Okay. And of course, you can adjust teachers, no, if it's just like a 3 level, 4 level, or a 5 level timeline. Okay. And of course, teachers, ang dami pa niyan. Hindi lang siya timeline, even processes. Okay. You can also insert diagrams that talks about processes, relationships, cycles, and hierarchy here, or even grid. Okay. You can actually all do that here. Okay. So that's for inserting a diagram. You can also insert a chart, no? And this is what I really like, teachers, no? Nakakatuwa tong when you're inserting a chart in your presentation, because your charts, no, could actually be what we call a dynamic chart. Ibig sabihin, teachers, you can actually insert a chart from your Google Sheets and maintain that link, no, between your Google Sheet and your Google Slides. So anytime that you change anything in your Google Sheets, the chart also changes in your Google Slides. So it's constantly being updated. Hindi mo kailangang copy paste again ng inyong chart, no? Every time there's a change in data. So if you just go to insert and click chart, teachers, one of your options there is from sheets. Okay, so for example, I'm going to import a chart, no, from my one of my sheets. Okay. Okay. Uh, let's just wait for a while, teachers. Okay, let's look for my for that Google Sheet. Okay. Okay. Let me just look for it, teachers. Okay. But again, the beauty of these teachers is that it's linked. No, that's what again, integration between Google Slides, okay, and um, Google Slides and Google Sheets. No? I just search for that. Okay. Okay, let me just choose this. Okay, and when you choose a particular sheet, teachers, it will extract, no, whatever chart has been made or available in that. For example, this one has this chart, so I'm like to import that. I could now easily put that in my presentation. Of course, teachers, you can always adjust. Okay, and notice here, teachers, on the upper left corner, upper right corner, you have there that option. No, so it means right now this chart is linked to that Google Sheet. So anytime I create changes in my sheet or in my chart, no, in my Google Sheet, that will also be changed. No, but you can always unlink the chart. No, if you don't want it to be changed anymore. If you want it to be as is, okay, and no changes in data will change it, then you can go ahead and unlink that chart from your presentation. Okay. Okay. So a couple of more things, no, from the ating basic fundamentals. Okay. Second to last one, teachers na to. Okay, before tayo pumasok sa advanced natin, advanced features, is downloading into a different format. Okay, so you can actually download your presentation in different format. You don't need to choose, okay? okay, or be stuck with, no? If, for example, you really need to work it in another format, you can actually do so. Just go to Files, teachers, and when you click Files, that should okay, give you an option to download, okay, right there. And when you click download, teachers, you have options, no, different options to download it. You can download it as a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, ODP, PDF, plain text, JPEG, PNG image. Although teachers know, ang limitation lang niya is you can actually download all the slides in a in PNG or image, okay, in one go. Okay, it has to be like the current slide, okay, right at the moment, okay. So that's how we download, no, in different formats. So you could work it offline, for example, in a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, and so on and so forth. Okay. The last one, teachers, is of course printing slides. No, so you can also print your slides into handouts. Okay. So if you just go to Files, okay, and then go over Print right here, that shows you the ability to print it. Okay. In different ways. You can print it in a handout, okay? So it can also be handouts of 5 slides in one handout, and or 2 slides, no, in one handout, etc. Okay. So wala siya. Okay, right there. Ay, sa print na pala ako, teachers, no. It's in the printing settings pala. Sorry. Okay. Let's go here. Okay. So that gives you, teachers, no, an option to print, no. If we really need to print, although I do not recommend really for printing it, teachers, no, kasi nga that's the reason why we made our Google Slides presentation online, is to limit printing. But just in case, no, we really need to print it, so you can actually go over there, print preview, and then here you have an option, no, on top, okay, to see how to lay out, no, how many slides per um, uh, per um, per paper. Okay, so for example, we can choose 4 slides per page, okay, for printing, and that now gives you a layout of I don't know, 4 slides per layout. Okay, so that's our teachers, our printing preview. Okay, so you could print your Google Slides. Although again, I do not recommend it as always. Okay. But of course, now, if you want, you can actually download it as a PDF. Okay, so you can also do that. Okay? If you're not actually going to print it. Okay. Now, teachers, before we head on and go over our advanced, no, or some other features. Okay. Um, yes, no, teachers. Okay, pwede po siyang session guide. Okay. So now, teachers, let's now move on to our advanced features. Now, before we go to that, no, maybe we have some questions or concerns. Okay, that you have, okay, from the chat box. Okay, I'm checking our chat box very carefully. Okay, but if there's none, teachers, we can now actually proceed, so we can end, no, on time at at 7 p.m. as promised. Okay, so teachers, let's now move on and look at some of the advanced features now. And let's begin with our advanced features with, okay, working with Microsoft Files. Okay, I know for a fact, teachers, that of course, okay, it remains to be that Microsoft PowerPoint presentation still to be a go-to presentation maker, because it's still very advanced, okay, and in terms of sophistication. But just in case, for example, you have a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation file that you want to work on with Google Slides, that's actually very easy. So teachers, let me just go over and show you Microsoft PowerPoint presentation right here. For example, if I go to my Google Drive, teachers, no, I have here a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Okay, those with letter P, teachers, are Microsoft PowerPoint presentations. Okay, and notice what happens if I double click that to open a teachers, no. Okay, so just double click that and to open the presentation. Notice that it does not reject the file. Okay, it automatically opens the files in Google Slides. Okay, that's the integration of Google and Microsoft features. No, so right now, teachers, if you have Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, you can actually easily use that and see that, no, or view it in Google Slides. But take notice, teachers, okay, that even if you're able to open it in your Google Slides, no, your presentations are is not yet, no, fully converted. Okay, So it means, teachers, you cannot yet fully edit this presentation, okay? Microsoft PowerPoint presentation in Google Slides. Okay, so you can see here it indicates no in the file. Okay, if you just look at the upper left corner, the title of the presentation. Okay, 10.2 Germany strengthens, and then there's that button, that PPT. It recognizes that the file is originally still a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so you cannot edit this unless you convert it, teachers. No, so what we do if we want to really edit it is to go to File, teachers, and you'll see there Save as Google Slides. So it will now create an entirely new presentation that can be edited using Google Slides, and you can start working with your presentation. And of course, when you want to download it again, readable by Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, you can go over and head to download and then download as Microsoft presentation. Okay, so that's one. That's the first one that we need to take note of. Okay, working with Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. But again, teachers, lahat ng Microsoft PowerPoint presentation natin can be opened in Google Slides. Okay, that should not be a problem. Okay, okay, teachers. Next natin is on explore button. Okay, so this is explore button is used for smart suggestions. I know for a fact, teachers, that sometimes nahihirapan tayong mag-create ng mga presentations. Okay, and sometimes designing your presentations takes time. Okay, so explore button actually helps you with that. Now, although smart button, okay, can do so much more, but I'll just show you one aspect, or use of explore button. If you just go over and head on example, I have a slide here, okay, a very plain slide here, okay. But if I just go over, okay, and click that button on the lower right corner, teachers, no, called Explore right there, you will see that, no, at the lower right corner, okay, you'll see there Explore button. If you just click on that, okay, that will now give you suggestions on how this slide could be much better. Right there. So just click that and it generates suggestions, okay, on how the slide could look better, okay, in a different format, in a professional looking format, okay. So I can now head on and choose any format that was given to me or was suggested, okay. So for example, let's just choose on this one, looks sleek and very minimalist, okay. Uh, Especially, I like minimalist designs. Um, okay. Okay. Pag napili, just choose again, teachers. Okay. Okay. For a while, teachers, no? Ano lang yung computer ko. Okay. But anyway, so you can choose, no, among the many suggestions given slides right here. That allows you to easily build your slides, without like necessary hassle of editing or creating from scratch. Okay. Now, what else is good here, teachers, is that just by simply adding a different kind of element. Okay. For example, if I insert here an image, okay, let's get an image from the net. Okay. And I'll show you what happens whenever you add a particular element into your slide. Okay, it also takes that into account. Okay, so let's just, for example, search students. Okay, okay. If you just click on students t-shirts, that now, for example, let's insert this with one with Barack Obama. Okay, and insert that into our presentation. Take notice, teachers, that once you have inserted a new element, your Google Slides adjusts, okay, and gives you yet another suggestion on how your slide should look like or could look like. Okay, so I could easily choose, for example, this particular slide right here, and alter my presentation just like in one go. Okay, and without, like, again, the hassle of creating presentation or designing, no? Okay, that takes away that much time from our work, so that we can focus on much important things. Okay. That's for our explore button. Okay, and this one, okay, the next one is the answer to the question of teacher Jean, okay, Torneo earlier, okay, on so that you don't need to repeat every time, no, on whenever you're putting common elements into your slides, okay, is editing the master slides, or in the most recent updates, teachers, it's now called a theme, okay? So now again, what happens when you do edit the theme, teachers, is that it creates, no, um, um, it now puts the same elements across your slides, okay, and those elements are not editable, okay, so it becomes part of the background, okay. So let me just go over and add here some slides, okay, that we're going to apply the theme we're going to make, no. Okay, let me just create here. It is a blank one, okay, and let me add another one so that we'll see, no, what happens, okay. And this is the answer to teacher Jean, because once teacher Jean, no, you go over and edit your master slide and you change the background for that master slide, it actually appear to across to all your slides, okay? So just go to slides, teachers, and go to edit theme. And once you go and check on and click on edit theme, it will now give you this option, okay. So what we need to do is, of course, okay, there are two layers of editing your master slides, teachers. No, you can always go over and edit what we call the master slide, okay, or the theme, and that applies all the things you're going to do here in all of your slides. Okay, so for example, for teacher Jean's problem, okay, on applying a particular background on all your slides, okay, so I can go over and click my theme, and go and head on over background, okay, and choose my color. For example, that's now going to be yellow again. Okay. Okay, let's just wait for it, teachers. Okay, yan. Okay, now, teachers, notice, okay, lahat ng, of course, it will not be applied to all, okay, unless they're using the same layout, okay? So, for example, it has been only applied to these slides because these slides are using the same layout in my presentation, okay? So, notice that all now have been applied or been put with that background, okay? Yellow, okay. And if, for example, you just type in, for example, a text, okay, into your slide right here, okay. If you just, for example, create example now, you're going to put title of your school, etc., or a title of your presentation or the topic of your presentation, you can actually put it in your master slides, master slide or the theme, and it will actually also appear across your slide, okay. So just for example, this one is Google Slides, okay. Just type in Google Slides here. Let's just wait for a while, teachers. Nahirapan yata yung computer ko. Is it my computer or my internet connection? Either of the two. Okay. So type in again. Okay, for a while, teachers. Yan, lumabas na yung letters. So edit that. Okay. Now, so what happens, teachers, now when you do that, okay, notice that if we go, for example, to our Google Slides, okay, that will actually reflect in all of our slides. So we just close that, okay. Let's just close this master slide or theme editor. Is that you will notice that it's now it has now been applied to all my slides, teachers. Okay, so that's the easiest way, no, that you put, okay, a common element, okay, across different slides. Okay, so you can see here now the background has changed, okay, and as well as if you go over and click on each slide, you will see now the Google Slides, okay, na name below the slides we have created. Okay, so this is how we use the master slide. Let me just, teachers, no, revert that back, okay, so that we I could maintain my presentation. Okay, let me just go back to that. Okay, just restore that version. Okay, so that's, teachers, editing the theme of, I hope, teacher Jean, okay, that answers your problem, no, and that gives you that much of that's ano, better way of applying multiple themes. Okay? Sorry, background to multiple slides. Okay? I hope that answers. Let me know, Teacher Jean, if you need more help on that one. Okay? Teachers, I'm just restoring the version that we have the earlier. Okay? Because okay, sorry. Refresh ko lang. Okay, I think my presentation is my internet connection is lagging. Okay. Anyway, teachers, while we're waiting for my presentation to go back in, are there questions so far or meron po ba kayong mga tanungan? Yan. Okay, so I hope teachers know if you have questions or if you have insights, no, or any, for example, things that you've used or know about Google Slides, please do let us know in the chat, no? Okay, so that we also learn from each other. Okay. Okay. For a while. Okay. Just change ko lang yung background ko ulit to a white color. Okay. Because there are things that we might not be able to see if it's that background. Okay. Just apply that. Okay. Okay. Now let's just exit, teachers. So that's for editing your master theme or your master slides, teachers. Okay. Let me now proceed to our next one, which is on our next feature, okay, of Google Slides. Okay, is on, sorry, medyo mabagal ng teachers yung ano ko, ng internet ko. On hyperlinking, teachers. Okay. Of course, isa rin sa mga beautiful things about Google Slides, teachers, is when we are able to also put resources into our Google Slides. Okay. So by using hyperlinking, teachers, it allows you to insert content into your presentation without like putting the links into your presentation. So you can go over and just simply click on any, for example, no, like a box or um, an a text box, okay, or a shape, or even an image, teachers, no. And when you do that, okay, you can easily now okay, insert a link, no? So for example, I click this box, teachers. You would see on top here, there's a button, insert link. Okay? And that now gives you the opportunity or the ability to insert a link in that particular element. Okay, so for example, let's insert a link. And you will now be able to insert like a website, etc. Okay, so for example, let's just insert here. Okay, slides. Okay, that google.com. Sample, teachers, and sample. Okay, let's just go here. Okay. Let's choose this link instead. Okay, and okay, sorry. Okay. And let's insert a link for this one. Okay, so now teachers, look at that. Your text now had become a hyperlink. So now your viewers will be able to click that, okay, whenever they go to your presentation, or if it's your presentation, you can actually simply click on that and it brings you to that presentation. What's also good about hyperlinking in Google Slide, teachers, is that whenever you create a hyperlink here, it does not always need to be a website, okay? So pwede ka rin. So when you click the insert link here, notice that you can actually link your slide, no, or elements of a slide to the different parts of your presentation. Okay, so I could here, for example, choose a slide, from my presentation. So I could link it, for example, to my slide number 1, okay, right here. And so whenever someone clicks on that hyperlink, it brings them to my slide number 1. Okay. Teacher Emmy, I will also go through that later on. Okay, teacher test. Okay, we'll be able to go to that. Okay, that's one of the things I'm going to discuss. Okay. So aside from hyperlinking, teachers, no, you can actually also link slides, and this is actually one of the answer to some of the questions of teachers. Now, What if, for example, I want to assign a couple of students in one slide, okay? But they will not be able to edit the other slides, okay? There's actually no there's no direct answer that teachers know, because whenever you share a slide presentation or Google Slides, okay? By the way, no, we call it slide deck, okay? Whenever you share a slide deck in Google Slides, teachers, you are sharing the entire presentations, okay? But, okay, there's a workaround to that, no? If you want, for example, to do a collaborative work, and your students are working on different slides, and you want to put it in one presentation, you can actually do what they call a link slide. Okay, so for example, if you have 8 groups, okay, you simply go over and create 8 presentations for them, and then they edit individually those presentations. And what you do, teachers, is to copy paste those presentation, the slides from those presentations into a master slide. Okay, because, okay, whenever we copy in Google Slides, teachers, whenever we copy a slide from another presentation, that slide actually can be linked into your presentation. Ibig sabihin, if there are things being edited or changing in that slide from another presentation, those changes will also reflect on your current presentation, your master presentation. So let's just say, for example, let's go overhead and copy this slide from one of my presentations. Okay. Sample lang to teachers, it's not really related to Google Slides, okay? Pero let's just go, para lang mapakita natin how link slides work, okay? So I had, for example, this is my master slide, and I just copy that slide from another presentation. And the first thing that Google Slides will ask me is that if I want to link and keep original styles. So that's how you actually link your slide to another presentation. You click on link and keep original styles, okay? And now what happens, teachers, is that anything that happens in this slide, okay, from the other presentation, let's just go over and demonstrate that, so that we can actually show it to you, okay, is that it will also reflect on your master slide, okay? So for example, here is my master slide, okay? If I go, for example, from the source of the slide and just like remove anything, for example, I put here, remove this one, okay? That should also consequently, okay. Baka may delay lang, teachers, sa aking net connection, okay? So that's teachers, no? Yes, no. Welcome po. Maraming salamat, Teacher Nimpa. So, teachers, yan ang ating, okay, let me just see kung nag-reflect na siya. Pero yun yung tinatawag nating link slide. So, you can actually, that's a workaround in creating like collaborative slides, without your students seeing the other slides of other students, okay? So, by building your master slides and like linking all the other slides into your presentation, okay? So, yan. Hindi pa lang siya nag-reflect ngayon, no? Okay? Yan, i-update lang natin. So it will now show you, teachers, kapag may changes dun sa presentation mo, may lalabas dun sa upper right corner ng slide mo, update. And you see now, teachers, nawala na rin yung pictures ko coming from the original slides. So tinanggal natin yung picture ko. Okay? So that's what we call linking slides, teachers, or link slides. That should actually be helpful in creating dynamic presentations. Okay? Okay, next one, teachers, is the very interesting feature of Google Slides, which is hosting a Q&A. Okay? Di ba kailangan natin minsan ng interaction in our presentations? Okay? You can actually host a Q&A so that your students can actually ask questions. Now, we're going to put it into practice, teachers. I'm going to ask you to actually ask a question in my Q&A, in my Google Slides. Now, how do we do this, teachers? If you want to host a Q&A, just simply go to the present button right here. You see that present button? Beside the present button, teachers, you'll see there a drop-down button. Okay, if you just click on that drop-down button, teachers, now let me just zoom out. Okay, if you just click on that drop-down button, you'll see there a presenter's view option. Okay. Okay, so again, drop down button near the present button, click on the present view, and it will now open up to your presenter's view. Okay, so this is a normal presenter's view, teachers. You will see here your current slide, your previous slide, your next slide, but okay, and of course no speaker notes. Okay, but what's good about these teachers is that you can actually start here. If you just go on top, okay, you'll see their audience tools. Okay, you will be able to start a Q&A function in your presentation. Right here, I'm going to click on that. Okay, and I'm just going to change my domain present access, okay, to anyone, so everyone can actually access that. Okay, and let me just put that address, okay, into our chat right now. Okay, and let me see if you could be able, or you'd be able to um, send some questions. Okay, so for those who can try now, teachers, okay, let's see if your questions will actually reflect into my presentation. Okay, let us see, teachers. Okay, that's a slide. Okay, sir, the same din po ba sa link principle from PPT? I think so, Teacher Janet. No, although I'm not like completely 100% with Google, with Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. It has been a long time since ginamit ko po si PPT. No, since ever since kasi nag-start ako sa Saviors, we started using Keynote, and then I transitioned to Google Slides na po, Teacher Janet. Okay, but I'm definitely sure, Teacher Janet, that should be the same. Kasi of course mas sophisticated yung questions, no, or yung capability ni Google ni Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Okay, now teachers, are there anyone, okay, let me see kung meron bang makakapag let me just go over and try this myself. Okay, let me just go to that address. Okay, when you go to that address, teachers, you'll your students know, or your viewers will be able to see this one. Okay, so you can actually ask questions now. Okay, so for example, and they will also be able to see the questions of other students. No, so for example, how good is Google Slides? We're promoting our own. No, okay. So if you just submit the teachers, it will now appear on one of, or the list of your questions, okay, in your, and this is amazing. Okay, maraming salamat whoever is that anonymous. Okay, since I did not put it in our domain, viewers now can actually appear as anonymous right here. So your questions now will appear here. So for example, let's highlight teacher anonymous. Okay, this one is from teacher Isa May Obina. Okay, and I can actually present that question. For example, if I just go over and click present here, teachers, and by the way, now your viewers can actually also do what do you call this? Voting. Okay, so I example present teacher Isa May Obina's insight or comment, and you can actually flash it like that. Okay, so teacher Isa May Obina. Sorry for flashing your name here, but thank you so much for that comment. Okay, and I hope that you really do appreciate this session for tonight. Okay, so I can now simply go over and hide that question here from my presenter view. So teachers, that should add a different dimension of interaction in your presentation. Okay, thank you, Teacher Isa May. Okay, and of course, teacher, lahat po yan will also be here. No, okay. Now, if every time, for example, na-cut off kayo, na walang kayo ng connection, you can actually continue a previous Q&A. Okay, so hindi naman siya basta-basta nawawala as long as you're in that presentation. Okay. So teachers, yan ang ating Q&A function, or hosting a Q&A function in your Google Slides. Okay, let me just go over and stop presenting on this one. Okay. Okay, the next one, teachers, is of course, okay, this one I will no longer demonstrate, teachers, no, but do explore, no, using templates from other websites. Okay, we have slides. Okay, sorry, that's slidesgo.com. Okay, that should give you a lot of options, okay, for designs. Okay, so you don't need to start from scratch, teachers. Slides Mania is also a good source. Okay, although personally I have been using slidesgo.com, that should give you a different, so many options to start from a template. Okay, third to the last features natin, okay, for tonight would be on voice typing your speaker notes. We have always been using speaker notes. Okay, yes, speaker notes in our presentations, but you can actually voice type them, so you don't need to type them manually. Okay, so if you just go over to your tools right here, okay, you can actually have here an option, voice type speaker notes. Okay, so if you click on that, teachers, okay, that actually recognizes Filipino. Okay, so even if you're speaking Filipino, it will be able to recognize that. You can switch languages, for example, English or other languages you might be speaking. Although again, for Philippines, it's only Filipino that it recognizes the voice, no, the intonation, and all the possible words. Okay, so if you just click on record or click to speak, I will now start to be able to record my speaker notes no below. So, magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Tingnan natin kung ma-recognize yung magandang araw. Yan, okay? Yeah, na-recognize naman yung mga Filipinos. So just be careful that there are no background noise in your house, or else it will also record everything. Okay, so that's for, hindi po tayo lagi nagta-type, no? And we can actually expound better sa ating speaker notes. You can simply stop that, no? And click on the record button to stop the recording. And of course, teachers, you can always mind no, the shortcuts. Okay? Although I'm not really a fan of, hindi talaga ako masyadong gumagamit ng mga shortcuts. Alam ng mga teachers natin yan. But if you want to memorize the shortcuts for Google Slides, okay, you can go over in the help section right here. If you click on the help section and in your menu toolbar, teachers, you'll see there keyboard shortcuts. So it should give you the list of different keyboard shortcuts for Google Slides. Okay, right there. Okay, for you to be able to master and easily navigate in Google Slides. But again, no, hindi kasi ako yung finger dexterity ko on using shortcuts, hindi masyadong okay. Okay? Now, teachers, just time checking. Okay? The last thing I'd like to talk about is yung using add-ons and extensions. Okay? So this one, teachers, no, add-ons and extensions, no, extends the capability of your Google Slides. I'll try to demonstrate some of them, but not all, teachers, no, because of our time, no. Okay. And the first one that I'd like to talk about is to address teacher MA Abigan or teacher Tess. Okay. No, concern about recording to slides. Okay, can you record videos into slides? Yes, teachers, you can record to slides. No, you can record videos directly into slides, so you don't need to import, you don't need to download, etc. Okay, and this one takes into what we call an extension called record to slides. Okay, so just go over, teachers. Okay, just close this. Okay. Okay, so teachers, you just go over your Chrome Web Store. Okay, that should bring you to your sorry. Okay. An extension called Record to Slides. Okay. So hanapin nyo lang, teachers, ulit sa Chrome Web Store natin. This is I already showed you the logo. Okay. But just in case no, you are interested. Okay. So this is the Record to Slides. Okay. So just download it. Okay. Search natin, teachers. Okay. Yeah, teachers, this is the Record to Slides extension. Okay, so just look for it in the Chrome Web Store. Let me share that via our chat right now so that you can actually get that. Okay, so I'm sending it via our chat, teachers. Okay. Okay, para po for those who are interested. Okay, so going back to my presentation. So if you have already added no the Record to Slides into your Chrome. Okay, you will now have this extra button right here on top. Okay, which now allows you to record directly into your Google Slides without any external devices or any external applications. Okay, I just simply click on that, and it will now show no an interface where to record a video. Okay, so for example, here I'm just going to click this target button right here that actually is the record button. So if it turns red, I'm now starting to record. Okay, just click on that. Okay, Medyo mabagal yung response teachers ng ano ko. Yan. Record na teachers, no? So you can actually discuss, talk about, record things. Okay, this is actually good for our students. Okay, you might want to ask them to do like a recording, like an oral presentation or oral skill test. Okay, via this one, diretso na sa kanilang Google Slides. Okay, so I just click on okay, right, stop the recording. So I now have a recording of myself. I just click OK. And that video, okay, should appear anytime soon now, okay? Medyo mabagal ang teachers ang aking internet connection into my presentation, okay? Again, without doing like any other device, okay? Right there, teachers, you can see in my presentations, I now have my recording, okay? So that's the recording I did in record to slides extension. Okay, so you can now again edit that, okay, format that accordingly if you want. Okay, but again, teachers, no, don't forget as well that that video also ends up in your Google Drive. Okay, so napupunta rin po sa Google Drive natin. Okay, that's why there's an option here to go to open in Drive. Okay, because that's stored in your Drive. Okay. So make sure then na kapag natin kailangan, i-clean up natin yon. But don't forget, whenever you clean that up, teachers, nawawala din tong video no, sa presentation nyo. Okay? So that's one. Okay, of course, this one is a long demonstration, but I hope that you get to explore this, teachers. Peer Deck, teachers, is a very good add-on, okay, that allows you to insert multiple choice questions and interactive contents into your slides. Okay? So if you just go to add-on, teachers, right here on top, okay? If you just go to add-on and get add-ons here, you'll see tons of add-ons that you can add into your presentation. Let me just repeat that because I was not able to zoom out. Okay. Okay. All right, teachers. Okay, yan. So you just, for example, teachers, no, open get add-ons. Look at here. All the possible add-ons you can add into your presentation, which will add no different levels no of use and functionality into your slides. You can explore, but teachers, don't forget, never add too many add-ons into your presentations. Okay, because add-ons will tend to slow down your operations as well, especially if you have a hardware na hindi makakatch up dun sa requirements. Okay, so make sure lang that we are selective in adding add-ons. So this one, teachers, is the Peer Deck extension right there. So you can simply click on that, and there should be a install button right there. It's so easy when you're adding an add-on. Okay, and you should be able to use that already once added into your Google Slides. Don't forget lang, teachers, no, sometimes, okay, yan, nakalagay ngayon, teachers, uninstall because it has already been installed into my presentation, okay, or my Google Slides, okay. Pero just take notice, teachers, that whenever you add an add-on, it will always request for permission. So just grant them because these are safe applications, okay. Pero again, if don't add, just don't add too many add-ons, okay, in your Google Slides, okay. So now, teachers, let me just show you. So whenever you click add-on, all your added add-ons are here in your add-ons tab, okay. Let me just go over and show you other things. No, there's another add-on I'd like to recommend, the Unsplash. That's one of the best ways to add a photo in your presentation easily. So just add on Unsplash or look for it, okay. And when you have add-on or Unsplash in your Google Slides, you'll be able to easily get Unsplash photos, okay, in your from unsplash.com. Unsplash, by the way, are non-licensed photo teachers, okay? So kahit po hindi natin kailangang wala itong mga bayad, no, itong Unsplash photos natin. Okay, so you can easily get that, okay, from Unsplash photo by adding this add-on. Okay, so now when you click the Unsplash add-on, Unsplash now will appear on the right side, okay, and you can easily now search for photos that you would like to use in your presentation. Again, removing the hurdle to our workflow na kailangan pa lumabas, kailangan i-download, kailangan ilagay pa dito. You can easily search and drag and drop or insert your this Unsplash photos into your presentation. Okay. So for example, right there, I'm inserting a photo into my presentation. Right there. Okay. Teachers, okay. Ganun lang kadali. Okay. So hindi na kailangan lumabas. Okay. So workflow-wise, okay, you are good to go. Okay. The last one, teachers, is on icons by noun project. Okay. And this one gives you, this is the most useful, I think, for many teachers. Although, unfortunately, this is not entirely free. Okay? Pero napakaganda niya, teachers, kasi, di ba lagi tayo naghahanap minsan ng mga icons or mga images to use for our presentation that represents an idea, represents a word or a phrase, no? There's this add-on called icons by noun project, okay? And this is what it does, no? Once you have added that, okay, you can actually search, no, a lot of icons, okay, from their database, okay, and easily insert it in your presentations. Okay, again, the problem lang na nakita ko dito, teach, is that not everything is free. Okay, so if you want to access the whole library of icons by noun project, you'll have to you'll have to um, pay for the license, okay, to use the entire library. Okay, so for example, there are some free pero limited lang, pero this is how easy you can insert an icon. So you choose an icon, okay, and then click insert. It will now be inserted in your presentation right there. Ganun lang kadali mag-insert ng icon, okay, using your icons noun project, okay, by noun project, okay. And again, madami pa yan, teachers, okay. Okay, we're now down to our last one, teachers, and this one I'll just walk you through. I will not be able to demonstrate it because of the time constraint, teachers. Already 7:06. Okay, I hope you don't mind. Okay, but just be for your information, na lang, teachers, no. Okay, that your Google Slides can be embedded into your Google Sites. Okay, so you can easily put it in your Google Sites, and it will appear in your Google Sites. Okay, perfectly fine. Okay, so you don't. It appears as an entire presentation in your Google Sites. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, you can also do assigning in Google Classroom. This is actually a very important way to go about it. No, so when you, for example, you assign a Google Slides, okay, template in your Google Classroom, it allows you to assign it individually to your students. Okay, so if you are assigning a template, teachers, no, to your students, aside from using the force a copy option, you can actually assign it in Google Classroom and then make a copy for each student. Okay, that's actually an option, always an option in your Google Slides, okay, in your Google Classroom. And of course, okay, teachers, no, ito na to yung isa sa pinaka-importanting update sa ating lahat. And this one, I'd like to show you because you might have missed this already. You might have missed this, okay? That you can actually now insert a Google Slide presentation inside your Google Docs. So for example, you're sharing a Google document, no, to your co-teachers, okay, to your co-admins, okay, or to your students. You can actually put an entire presentation into your Google Docs. Okay, so that your students, no, will be able to access that presentation from a Google document. Okay, so let's just, for example, open this. Okay, so for example, I have here a sample document. Okay, now what you need to do lang, teachers, okay, when you're inserting a presentation into your Google Docs, okay, is to use the @ sign. Okay, this is what we call the smart canvas, okay, or the smart chips by Google Docs. Now, this is an update, okay, recently in the Google Workspace for Education account by Google. So if I use, for example, teachers @ okay, I will now have an option to insert a presentation right there. Since it's recent, it now appears here, Google complete Google Slides walkthrough. I can actually now click that, and my presentation has been inserted into my Google document. If someone clicks that, it brings them to my presentation right there. Okay, so teachers, that's how we integrate, no, in Google Docs naman. Okay, so that's what we call smart canvas or smart chips in Google Docs. Okay, so just imagine, for example, you can actually put all your presentations, a list of presentations in your Google Docs for someone, for as a reference for your co-teachers, as a reference for your students, etc. Okay, that, teachers, no, are the integration points. Now, I'm sorry if I wasn't able to demonstrate the other things, okay? But those things are easy naman to navigate and to understand. Okay, let's now proceed with our open forum, teachers. I think we still have like 6 minutes, teachers, okay, for some open forum and some questions, okay, that you might want to ask. Okay. Welcome po, Teacher Gemma Binelada, Teacher Marites Kabusi. Maraming salamat din po for being here and joining me in this live stream. For the others po, you might have some questions, okay, concerns. Okay, please don't forget, no, while you're at it, teachers, no, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notifications so that you'll never miss any live stream from our channel. Okay, and of course, teachers, no, let me just go over that. Okay, and since you're all here already, okay, baka ma-miss ko lang, teachers, no, and you might be interested. Okay, let me just go over and promote, okay, our August series. No, while you're thinking of questions, teachers, okay, since you're here already, okay, please, okay, do join us, no, for our August series. Okay, this is na we're almost done with our July series, teachers. Think about that. Na sobrang bilis lang dumaan ng mga months. Okay, we're done with our July series, and we have now designed, no, a new series for you this August. Okay, this is under the theme inclusive education in distance learning. So we're going to talk about all kinds of accessibility problems and inclusivity problems in distance learning, internet connections, learning preferences, learning styles, okay, attitudes, no, etc. All of those things we're going to discuss, no, in this series. Okay, so the first one will come out. May 1 week po tayong pahinga, no, after ng July series natin, teachers. Let's allow ourselves to rest, okay? Especially our public school teachers, our DepEd school, public school teachers who are now on vacation. So at least you can also rest, teachers, okay? And of course, so we'll start on August 12th with Google Workspace for Education accessibility features, okay? And then on August 14, we'll be talking about for if there are like SPED teachers in the room, or SPED teachers, do let them know that this is specifically for differently abled students. Okay? So how do we put them and how do we mainstream them? We're going to be talking about strategies and approaches. We'll be knowing how to go about it. Okay. Of course, on August 19, we'll also be talking about Microsoft Office 365 accessibility features. Okay. And on August 21, teachers, differentiated learning, okay, addressing different learning styles and preferences. I know that's always been a problem. Okay, how do we address a student that likes to more kinesthetic student, to a visual student, to an auditory student, to a student that learns this way, etc. We'll be talking about that on August 21. On August 26, all about tools, teachers. No, we'll be flooding you with all the tools you can use to ensure that your digital classroom for distance learning remains accessible and inclusive. And we're going to cap that off, no, teachers, of one of the biggest problems perhaps in distance learning, which maybe also a problem in your end, no, teachers, sa ating lahat po, is yung connectivity. How do we adjust, okay, our tools, our strategies, approaches, okay, when there is a limited connectivity? Hirap yung student, okay, meron lang 10 MB for the day. How do we make sure that he gets to access the tools and the resources, okay, for distance learning despite the limited connectivity, okay? So teachers, that's for August, no? And I hope you can really join us, okay, for our August series, okay? So teachers, okay, before we close our session, okay, Teacher Isa, other extensions that I recommend, okay, well, definitely number one, Teacher Isa, make sure that you have the Google Docs offline extension, okay? That's an extension that allows you to make your Google Drive files, okay, available offline. Okay, let me just go over with to that, Teacher Isa, so we could also go check. Okay, so that's one. Google Slides. Okay, Mode extension, teacher. Already downloaded that Teacher Isa, no? Okay, equation for math teachers. Okay, Save to Drive. I haven't really fully explored the Save to Drive, but people are actually also using it, okay, for automatically saving websites and web pages to Google Drive. So, for example, if you want to go about that, you can store that. You can also try teacher Isa to download what they call the um, on Google Classroom. Okay, I just forget the name for that one. Uh-huh. And there's so much more, no? Actually, there's tons more of extensions that you can explore here. Kailangan mo lang talaga teacher Isa mag-shopping dito kay Chrome Web Store. Okay? Let's check on Google Classroom. There's another shortcut, no, or extension for Google Classroom para you can easily post, okay, or make attachments, no, or changes in your Google Classroom, okay, without necessarily going to your Google Classroom, okay. So this one, teacher Isa, you might want to consider this. This is add to Google Classroom. So what happens, teacher, is that you can easily access your Google Classroom from your extensions, add contents from there without necessarily going to Google Classroom. It also notifies you I don't know, changes or updates in your Google Classroom from your Chrome. Okay, the Kami for Google Chrome is also a good one if you are someone that actually assigns PDF assignments to your students. Okay, that gives you ability to annotate PDFs in Google Classroom. Although again, may limitation lang teachers yung ating um, use, no, of Kami for Google Chrome. Okay? Teachers, for those who are here, please do let us know as well, no. Ako po kasi syempre hindi naman ako sobrang daming dina-download na extensions because again, ang rule ko sa extensions, if I don't use it, I don't download it. Okay? But please do let us also help teacher Isa May Obina, no, to discover more extensions that she can download, okay, for her class, okay, for her use in okay, classes, okay. So let's put it in chat, teachers. No? Welcome po, teacher Isa May. I hope that helps as well, okay. Teachers, okay, other questions, concerns, okay, before we close our session for today. Teachers, don't forget, no, I already clarified early on at the beginning of our session that this is not a certified, no. Our certifications, okay, are always our Thursday and Saturday events, of course, with the exclusion of Wednesday events for Ed Puzzle. That's also certified, okay. But again, maraming salamat, teachers. I hope na kahit papaano po nakatulong at nakapagbigay dagdag kaalaman, okay, ang session natin para sa araw na to tungkol kay Google Slides, okay. So teachers, just let me know if there are tools that you need help as well, okay. Pag meron, para ma-cover din po natin at mabigyan natin ng pansin dito sa Google sa ating channel, okay, and we can explore more about these tools. Okay, so just let me know which one, which other tools na you need a full walkthrough or help, no? Okay, how to solve text formatting issues in Google Slides. No, Teacher Manolita, yan po isa natin sa natin, no? Problema pa natin hanggang ngayon, okay? It's already been feedback, okay? So far, wala pang masyadong answer. Talagang medyo mahirap minsan i-format yung ating mga text box, okay? And text, no, in Google Slides, okay? So for now, that's we're sending that feedback already, Teacher Manolita, for the Google Slides team to take notice of and to improve. Okay. Welcome po, teachers, and again, maraming salamat. Again, do not forget our August series, okay, on beginning August 12. Okay, maraming salamat, teachers, and have a nice evening. See you po on Wednesday for our Ed Puzzle webinar number 4. Bye, teachers.